Yo, so listen, have you heard about the cab driver who got shot in the face?
I heard it on the news early this morning, but I don't know the details.
Alright, so listen, I'm gonna play a little excerpt so you can be brought up to speed. Hold on one second.
How and
Okay.
why he is breathing today. Prince.
Thank you.
His name is Prince.
Good day,
Prince
ladies
Hakeem.
and gentlemen. My case of survivor is I take it as a miracle because I don't know how to put this. I ain't supposed to be speaking to you right now. I'm supposed to be alive by the incident that I witnessed a couple of hours ago. It's so scary. I haven't witnessed. I've been watching this kind of thing in movie. I haven't really witnessed it, or I haven't seen this kind of thing up close the way I witnessed it a couple of hours ago. It all started. I work for a car service named BB Car Service.
Not no more.
We're located in Brooklyn, in East New York section of Brooklyn. So I was responding to a call, and at early morning of this hour, around the call came through around 1:20 a.m. this morning. So I responded to the call. I got to the location at 1:26 a.m. 6 minutes after the call came out, and I called the customer. I called the passenger. He said, "You're outside." I said, "Yes." He said, "I will be right there." So I was waiting. I waited for him for like about 5 minutes, and then he came out, walked out, get in the car. I asked him where he's going. I confirmed his name and his drop-off location, and it was accurate with the information that I have. I started moving. So when I get to, I didn't even leave the block yet. I was still at the traffic light at the same block that I picked him up. So the light was red. Immediately the light changed. I wanted to make a left turn. Immediately I got to the section of the street. He said, no, take me back. I said, take you back. You want to cause accident? Hold on, let me finish the turn. And then he was still yelling and doing all that. So when I finished my left turn, I pulled over. I said, what is it? He said he left something. He need me to take him back. I said, well, that's your house right there. You can just go because everything here is one way. For me to go around, I have to go up to 4 blocks and circle back. Why you can just cross the street and go get whatever you. I said, I'll be right here. I'll be waiting for you here. When you come, he started yelling, calling me all sort of names that I wouldn't repeat here and everything. So I didn't pay him no mind. It's like it's a regular routine. So I didn't pay him no mind until he says, I might have to. He said, don't let me kill you here. Still, when he said that the first time, he was still sitting in the car. I didn't pay him no mind. I didn't take him literally because he was saying so many things already. Then he opened the car, step out the car, like the door is open, his body was still against the door. The door is still open. He refused to leave or close the door and stuff like that. And then he said again, I might have to kill you. Before he said, don't make me kill you. Now, when he stepped out the car, he says, I will have to kill you. I took everything that you have. So at that point, that gets my attention. Immediately I turned back to look at his face one more time. What I saw is the gun pointing straight at my head, at point blank. So at that time, I don't know how I did it. But I had to make a decision to hit the gas, and I don't know, every other thing followed. And he fired the gun. Once I guess he's watching me, but the car moved so fast. So I shifted as a result of the car shifting. That's what I think at this point. As a result of the car shifting, so my head also shifted. And then he missed the target and he fired the shot right almost, immediately. And because mind you, my foot was on the gas while my head was still like this, because I don't want to give him any sign that I'm disobeying him, or so I was calm.
And he's out the car at this point.
I just
right?
Exactly.
So he's out of the car. The assailant, the purported assailant, is outside of the car.
Yes, he's no longer sitting behind him.
Okay. And he still meaning the cab driver continues, even though the threat is outside of the vehicle, he feels compelled to continue to give the assailant who's outside of the vehicle the impression that he is under his control, that, as he stated, obeying him.
But for my head was still there, so that's why before I could get in position again, even though the car is moving at this point, I believe that's how he fired the gun. I missed my head, and unfortunately it tear my skin. All these things was stitched and everything. But like I said, I'm the luckiest man alive. So I can't complain. So that is the story of today, and that is what I've been into since morning. I'm from the prison coming here, because of the scheduling issue. So I haven't even getting a sleep at all. So that's my story. Thank you.
Look, I'm elated that he survived this purported encounter. But you know what I find interesting is the fact that during the entire press conference, you don't hear anything about, well, I'm curious why. So the question I have is, why aren't they giving a description of this assailant?
I agree. I felt like that was missing, especially since he made eye contact with the guy. He confirmed his name.
That he
turned
knew.
around.
Okay.
He engaged with him a couple of times.
Right.
That was missing.
Exactly. And he said, he made it clear during his discussion that he took great care to look at his face. And I would assume, right, for purposes of being able to identify him. And notice during this press conference, we're not getting any information.
Zero. Not even the age. I think at one point they referenced that he's young, but the cab driver's accent is a little thick, so I didn't quite make out what he said. Okay. But it sounded like he alluded to his age being young.
Yeah. So I have a lot of questions. Look, I hope this gets solved in due course, but I'm not convinced fully. I just have a lot of questions. Hopefully, and at some point, more information will be made available to the public, because just too many questions, way too many questions, right? I mean, if this transpired the way that he is describing it, I think ultimately, the assailant needs to be held accountable.
Agreed. And I feel like what was interesting about this is the cab driver is obviously a great storyteller. He tells you what time he got the call, how long it took him to get to the writer's home.
Yeah, he got a knack for details.
He really did. So it's kind of like you're almost caught up in the story, and you don't think to question its validity because he's giving you so many details. But the main detail that's missing, to your point, is the description of the customer.
Yeah, of the customer. And not only that, the other part, right? Give us the name. What was the name that he gave you when you called to confirm? Like, what was the name that he gave you? What was the name that he gave you? And I think at a minimum, that'll be helpful perhaps in the investigation, because the public may have some information that bears upon being able to help identify who this purported assailant is. if in fact there is an assailant. We don't even know if there is a police report. I don't know. Is there? Have you heard anything about an official report being
I
filed?
didn't, but the cab driver, what's his name? Prince. Prince mentions that he went to the precinct. So, we're assuming there's a police report, but he doesn't say it, but he mentions the precinct.
Okay. Well, hopefully they get that solved. Now, look, are you familiar with what's going on in with Trump deporting purported Venezuelan gang members to a mega prison out in El Salvador?
I've heard bits and pieces, but if I'm honest, I'm not paying attention with 2 ears, just
All
one.
right, so El Salvador mega prison. It was a notorious prison long before the Trump administration began to deport hundreds of alleged Venezuelan gang members there. Okay, so this is the report from CNN. The Center for Terrorism Confinement is the name that it has. So it's called the Center for Terrorism Confinement. Because out in El Salvador, they had like this big gang that was just a lot of bloodshed, a lot of killing, a lot of murderous activity that was taking place. So they built this mega prison. And each cell holds 80 prisoners in each of the cells.
How big are the cells?
It's huge.
That's a lot of people.
It's huge. And here's the thing. They sleep on these metal slats.
Yeah.
No mattress.
Oh.
No pillows.
Oh.
No sheets.
Inhumane.
Absolutely is inhumane. Now, I think that the Trump administration is taking it way too far because he has deported hundreds of individuals who were purported gang members. But the problem is that there has not been like any like lawful process to determine the status of these individuals, because in some instances you have it where gangs, right, could compel people to engage in certain type of activities. So the question becomes, are these actual participants or members of gangs, or perhaps victims of gangs, right? It could be one or the other. So he just shipped all of these people to El Salvador while the case didn't allow for the courts in the United States to make a determination for these individuals, right? To be able to say, look, I'm not in a gang, but I'm a victim of a gang, and here are the reasons why. That sounds like a civilized way, right, to go about it.
Yeah.
But that's not what he did. And it's just crazy. Like, if you look at, there's a bunch of photos online. You just Google it. Like, Google El Salvador mega prisons. And it has a capacity of 40,000 inmates.
Wow.
40,000 inmates. And it just, my thing is like, if you send somebody to this prison, right, they haven't gone through a trial. They haven't been convicted of anything. There hasn't been any determination that they actually are in a gang versus are victims of a gang. And so you send these people there, and it's like, not only is it inhumane, but it's unjust.
Right.
Because
so I guess I have a question. Like, how do these people who haven't self-identified as being part of the gang get classified and grouped and shipped to El Salvador? I guess that's the point. Like I said, I only listen to 1 ear. That's what I don't understand.
I mean, so the way it works is, so now United States of America, King Trump in all of his wisdom made a determination, because he knows what's best. I mean, he made a determination. Yeah, he and his Justice Department made a determination that these are gang members. So what the heck? Get them out of here, right? Ship them off.
Gotcha.
Right? He's trying to protect us.
Make sure allegedly.
He's trying to make sure that we're safe.
Yeah.
So he takes all of these, gang members, right? Or as he would say, bad hombres, right? And ship them off.
Yeah.
And That's problematic because today there was actually a hearing that was held out in the District of Columbia. So the case is being appealed because the judge who was overseeing the case says that Trump administration deported these folks um, basically in violation of his court order to the contrary. So he basically shipped these people out while this case was still pending in the courts, then allowed for the courts to, make the determination. So he shipped them off. And so now the appeal, one of the judges on the bench basically said, look, Trump is claiming that he has this wartime power.
Mm-hmm.
And the court said, the wartime power is constitutional, but the question here is not whether or not it's constitutional, because we agreed that it is, but the implementation of it, how you implemented it under these particular circumstances. There is a question of whether or not Trump administration has the authority to do what they're doing in the manner in which they're going about it. So, we're going to be watching that closely to see what becomes of that, because this is absolutely insanity. Absolutely.
It really is
insanity. But here's another story. This is like a positive story.
Okay, we're ready.
There's a Celeste Gay. This is her name. She's an aspiring actress, right? She was chasing fame. She is 57 years old. So she basically went viral recently because she made a video and she was talking about her experience, and she posted an emotional video online, and basically the title was 57-year-old actress, and she's basically said, I'm 57 years old and I'm broke.
Oh,
I'm broke. So look, let me give you the rundown, right?
Okay.
She's an aspiring actress chasing fame, but she also is running from it. So far, she has gotten the biggest exposure, not on screen, but by being herself and sharing a resonant tale filled with pain and regret of how she quit her job a few years ago, moved to Atlanta to break into movies and television. So Gay envisioned herself working on screens both big and small, bolstered by the buzz of the city that's been dubbed Black Hollywood. Instead, she found herself in her car on a dreary day during her lunch break last month, emotionally sharing her tale on YouTube. To her 42 subscribers, she entitled it 57 and Broke. It has been really tough for me because of some decisions that I have made that I regret making, she said in the video, clearing her throat. I always talk about Atlanta, and I feel like when I left my corporate job making a good salary and decided to chase a dream, thinking everything would fall into place, things would be in order for my life blew up instead. At the end of her rope, Gay recorded her emotional video to be transparent about her situation and mistakes she made. She quickly found out she's not alone. Her clip earned her more than 500,000 views, an outpouring of support, and she now has 21,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Wow.
So here's the thing, right? 57 years old, working in corporate America, but she never gave up this dream to become an actor. And I think some time ago, you and I, we had a discussion about like when is, if any, is the right time to like give up on a dream.
I was just about to bring that up, Dnota. You took the words out of my mouth.
I mean, look, I think it's important and it's inspiring to go after your dreams, but do you do it at the expense of your responsibilities? Do you do it at the expense of stability? Like, and all for the purpose of like, I don't want to be dismissive of her dreams or her aspirations, but it's like vanity.
Vanity?
I mean, she wants to be famous. She wants everyone to know her. She wants to be the talk of the town. Right? It's not that she wants to discover like a cure for cancer.
I mean, I wouldn't take it to that extreme. I think she wants to realize a dream, probably a childhood dream, but quitting a job, a corporate job, meaning benefits,
Exactly.
stability, the same check every 2 weeks is foolish.
I mean, should we be applauding that as a society? Like, should we be sitting back saying, okay, well, wow, I really admire her. She's willing to give up everything sane that's going on in her life to pursue this, whimsical dream. It's a whimsical darn dream.
I know. It's one of those things where it's like that you are too old and that's not cute. That's something someone does in their 20s, maybe their 30s, but at 57, no.
And
I'm
my
sorry, I'm
thing
not
is, it's
sympathetic.
like, okay, so you pursuing your dream is not working out right. And then like we got to sit back and champion this foolishness because her life was like, for all, lack of a better way of putting it, it was pretty much perfect. Right? Not literally, but because no one has a perfect life. I mean,
Right.
when you reach perfection, you're dead. But in terms of like, you had this corporate job, you got guaranteed income, like your life is situated. Like, why not just pursue it as a hobby?
I agree. And I guess my question is, did something take off for her in her acting career that made her quit her day job? I just don't understand why you would go to that extreme. Like, let's say you land a big role, a reoccurring role on a TV show or a big movie deal. Okay, then it makes sense to quit your day job. But she didn't mention any of that happening, so it was just foolish.
Listen, she majored in journalism and theater at Tennessee State University, got a master's degree in business administration and marketed, landed a job in Washington, D.C. as an editor, but she never got over the acting bug she caught in the 6th grade after appearing in a play. So here's a quote from her. I always loved acting, but I was trying to be a quote unquote responsible adult. Get the 9-to-5 job, have the benefits, save for the 401k, she said. But I wasn't satisfied. By her early 50s, Gay was twice divorced, child-free, and working as a program manager at FedEx in Memphis. It was a good job, she says. She managed a sales team, earned about $80,000 a year, and had benefits many people would envy. So, my thing is, okay, I don't want to knock people for pursuing their dreams and their aspirations. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think she could have just like pursued it as a hobby, as a, you know what I mean? Like as a side gig. Like you won't walk away from it.
Yeah. It's not, it's almost from what you read, it sounds like she let her life's regrets snowball her off the track. Went flying through the air.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No safety net. Like, I'm tired of my life. I'm tired of these regrets. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to quit stability. Like, that's what it sounds like. What's your theory?
All right. So listen, right? It says that here she was twice divorced, child free. I think that perhaps, the relationship wasn't working out well and the guys dumped her and she figures, look, I'll show them. I'm
gonna get famous.
I'm gonna get famous. I have this hot girl
Interesting
summer.
Theory. Hot girl summer.
Yeah, it's getting hot. It's coming up. Listen, summer's right around the block. Spring just started a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Summer's right around the corner. Right? She getting ready for that hot girl summer. Like she gonna shake that thing.
Wow.
Look, I don't know if you've seen a picture of her, but when you get a chance, look her up. I mean, Celeste Gay, right? That's her name.
I'm gonna look her up right now.
Celeste, Celeste, and then Gay is spelled gay, Gay.
Gay.
And I don't really care to comment on how she looks because I don't think that's germane to the story.
But I wasn't expecting this elder. Well, actually, she's very pretty in her head. I'm assuming this is her headshot, but these other photos, She's looking a little elderly.
Okay. And look, my thing is, I'm just curious, like, maybe she was going through menopause,
Oh,
or maybe
Dnota.
isn't that the age that it typically happens? What age does menopause kick in?
It's like mid to late 40s.
Okay.
It really depends. It depends on the individual. It could be earlier, it could be later.
But one thing I can say on a positive note, like, I'm happy that, at the end of the day, look, she gave up her decent, good life and good salary to pursue her dreams, and it worked out for her. But I want to be honest about this situation. Like, that is an anomaly. In most instances, it's not going to go that way.
I agree.
I think it's important to be responsible about choices and decisions that we make, because everything's not going to be a Cinderella story.
Right. Right. That's the truth.
And, I'll give up my life. I'm going to dump my husband, or my husband is going to dump me, and I'm going to become famous.
Sad.
Yeah, it's sad. But listen,
this is one of those hard lessons that you're supposed to learn in your 20s, not in your late 50s.
Absolutely. But we're going to definitely be monitoring these stories. We'll get back to it tomorrow. We're going to check in with y'all again, because, there's just a lot going on. Have a good night.
Good night, Dnota.